Hello. So, I got my low rat hood today, and I'm gonna film myself putting it together. And I'm gonna show you guys the process. It does seem to come with a lot of different parts and screws and pre-cut boards. Yeah. This is in here. Okay, that's everything that was in the box. So, let's see, we've got all of our brackets, we've got our screws, we've got a couple of decals that are in here. This is the company that I got it from. It's the Lab Rat Faux Hood. Those are pretty cool stickers. Let's see. I should have this is the parts list. So in the thing it has all of the parts you need to put together. You do require a drill bit, a caulk, a drill, and a caulking gun, stain or clear coat, and 90-degree positioning squares, and some clamps to put this together. It's all listed right here, the extra parts that you need. And let's see. So it does come with some illustrated instructions. We've got some nice pictures. It's got a step-by-step. And I won't be able to do this at this table because you're supposed to sand and clear coat these before you are putting them together. So these are unstained, unsanded boards. They're literally just cut to the correct sizes, and we have to do that ourselves. So it's saying install the side panels on the top and bottom, pre-drill all holes to avoid cracking the wood, flush up the wood as nice as possible so that the filter fits without any issues. This step is critical. Choose the front of your unit. This will be the side that you install the furring straps on. Install the furring straps with part 2 by insetting the furrowing strips to the dimensions below according to your model. If furrowing strips are tight, sand the edges. And this is the model, which is the Nomad 15x8. It says lay the unit on its back so that the furring strips are facing up. Align the aluminum frame so that they flush with the sides of the unit, and squared. If you have the clamps and can clamp the framing to the unit, please do so. Once the framing has been aligned, pre-drill holes with a 1/16 bit, making sure the drill is in the center of the hole as best as possible. Sand and clear coat everything. Caulk the inside of the entire unit, leaving the area in front of the furring strips free of caulk to ensure the filter can fit. Install the backboards on the unit. Unit is using the brackets, parts 3 and 4, which are in this bag here. Install the fan. Plug the cord into the fan. Insert the fan into the squared receiving hole in the backboard. Place the black shroud over the fan and then screw the 4 screws in until tight. And then flip the unit to the front side. Install the fan guard onto the backboard using part 3, which I believe is in the box, or this box here, because it's not here. Yeah, it's probably in this box, so I'll have to get that out. And then it says install the filter and trim. Use part 6 and screw that into the holes you made in step 3. Ensure that the trim is tight to the filter and flush to the unit. The unit is complete and ready to use. Run the unit for at least 20 minutes prior to its first use. So, I'm gonna go do some prep work, and I will be back. I'm gonna go sand and probably polycoat these, because I have some polycoat downstairs, and do all the drilling in the holes, and then I will show you the steps in the assembly process. I'll probably do some jump cuts, because sanding's kind of boring, but we'll get there. Okay, so here's one thing that is not mentioned anywhere in the instructions. To get these furrings in, what I've had to do is clamp them to my table, and I have my joiner square here, and I have to square it up so that it's in line, but it is exactly where is it? Just had it. 2.5 inches from the front of the board to the back of the fairing thing, whatever they call it, the ferrule. Yeah, the ferrule, which is the short boards, or the skinny boards that go inside that hold the fan to keep it from pushing up against the back of it. So you have to go exactly 2.5 inches this way to get enough clearance for this filter to fit in the front and be secured with the metal brackets they give you. So I'm gonna finish screwing this bad boy together. It does come with the correct screws. Obviously, it's the number 2 screws for these things. They are the small gray ones, and you can just take it. I did pre-drill these holes with a what is this? A 7/64 drill bit. I put a piece of tape to measure my depth so that I'm not drilling all the way through the boards. Really good tip, so that you're not exposing the screws to the outside at all. So I did pre-drill these 2 holes at about 2 inches in on each side, and now we're just gonna screw the 2 screws in. Okay, that's one. That's 2. And I'm making sure not to put them in too tight, because this is press board and you can split it even with a pre-drilled hole. So just keeping it secure is all you need. Okay, for this bit, I have to freehand a little bit. So I've had to clamp this across the whole thing so that I can get this screw in. They do have little marker holes on the sides. I didn't do this yet so you can see it. There's a little indent right there where you can start your drill bit. And I just used a plain old drill bit. The screws for the sides are long enough that you don't need to put tape on this drill bit. You can just send it and you'll be good. And I'm gonna do this other side now since I've still got it clamped. Hopefully I'll be able to get it in the frame. So, swap out my bits like so. Get my square back from over here. Make sure that I have this top corner here squared up. So it's square on both sides, just like that. Tighten my clamp a little bit, make sure that it's all good. There we go. Okay, and then just take our drill bit and just go straight through here from that little divot. This is particle board, so you will want to back the drill out every now and then because it will get gummed up with the compressed fibers. And then we'll go ahead and swap back to our Phillips head driver, like so. Grab one of the 8 side panel screws, these bigger gray ones, and we're just gonna drive that puppy home. Just like that. Okay. Next one, I'm gonna use a bit bigger, thicker drill bit because it did split the wood a little bit right there while I was driving this one in. So I'm gonna up the diameter of the bit that I'm using a little bit. I'm going from a 3/32 to a 1/8 bit for my next holes. This is the side that's gonna get covered by the metal fairing, so I'm not too concerned about it because it will have that secondary support. So let's see, let's just make sure that this isn't too big of a hole. The easiest way to figure out if your drill bit is too big, just set them next to each other, and if you can see the threads but you can't see the shackle, like the thing that runs through the middle, then you're okay. This one's actually a little too big, so I'm gonna get a different drill bit, one that's slightly smaller. There we go. There we go. Good. All right, let's put this bad boy in here. So since I've got these screws in, I probably don't need these clamps anymore. I am still going to use one on the bottom for when, because I don't want it to shift on me while I'm drilling, because it's not secured in any shape, way, or form right now. So we'll get our bits and bobs squared back up with our square. So we're going to do this. Okay, so that's just barely sitting on there so that I can square this. Just like that. That's good. And hey, what do you know? That side's good too. We got them both. And I'll just ugga-dugga that a little bit. And then again, I'll go over here with my drill bit. To this side, where you can see, I don't think you can see it in the picture, but there is a little mark right there where you're supposed to drill this guy in. And just take my drill and try to keep it as square as possible, and just drive that thing down until it starts to stall. Back it back out. All right, got that done, and then we'll do this other side. Same deal, just as even and level as possible. And there we go. And those are the 2 pilot holes that we needed. All right, so we're gonna stick our screw chuck back in and take one of the remaining screws and drive that puppy in. And this one should not crack. Did anyway. Okay. Well, that's fine. So we'll just reduce our driving in a little bit. So just like this. go. Okay. And that side didn't split. So it's probably just my technique. It's not the kit. I mean, this is press board and we're screwing into the ends of it. So it's going to have a little bit of give. All right. So that is the sides done. Now we're going to put the top on. It should be, theoretically, at least, a lot easier. And when you're doing this, you always want to make sure that your holders, fairings, are on the same side. So that way you're not, you know, screwing one this way and, you know, one this way, so you've got like an angle. You don't want that. You want them both on the same side so that they'll hold the thing where it needs to be. Okay? Alright, and then this is the same kind of deal where we're going to have to clamp it because, again, it's particle board. So it is a little bit wibbly wobbly. You know, we're just going to do one clamp this time instead of two because we've already got the other side secure. So we'll just take this, make sure it's square down here, square here, and then we're gonna take it up here and square it to the top, like that. We're gonna have to do some finagling. It's not quite cooperating with me, so I'll just need to put a little bit of tension on it, just so that it doesn't move around whilst we are making our adjustments. Okay, want all of the edges to connect, just like that. We're gonna do a little test fit. I haven't taken the filter out because I don't want it to get dirty while I'm doing this stuff. So, and look at that. It does fit in there rather snug and nice. It won't fit in there perfectly because I have the cellophane on it still, but it will, it is the correct dimensions without that. So we're going to go ahead, clamp this baby down harder, just like this. Make sure that we haven't screwed anything up when we're tightening it. Screw our holes. All right. These ones are a lot easier because you don't have to do it the way I was sideways. You can just go straight down. Okay. All right. Try not to knock stuff over while you're doing this. There's a lot of little bits and bobs. Anyway, so we got the rest of our screws out. And we'll just drive these two home. And then flip it over and do the same on the other side. And that is not in there right. There we go. Okay. And this is all kind of a dry fit. I'm probably going to take some of these pieces off so that I can actually sand and stain everything in the nooks and crannies and whatnot, because it's just plain wood right now, and that's not going to be very conducive to our purposes. So okay, you know, just slightly ugga-dugga. All right, flip this guy over, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on this side. Do true pre-drilled holes, and then put 2 screws in there. And this is a little bit more work than I thought it was going to be. And if you don't have a whole lot of woodworking experience, it is going to be a bit of a trial, so I would say. Just because there's some things that aren't explained very well in the instruction sheet, but I hopefully this video that I'm making can help some people. So, because they do sell these pre-assembled and pre-dyed, pre-stained. And all that good jazz. If you just want to pick one up, the price difference isn't terrible between the two. This one, the kit itself was $150, and the fully assembled unit of this is like $270, something like that. I don't know the exact prices off the top of my head, but I paid about $150 plus shipping for this guy. And I mean, I could have built this myself, but I didn't want to source all the parts, and this seemed like a fun little project to do anyway, because this is all kind of a hobby for me. I'm not trying to make a living doing it, you know, so and it's a little husband and wife duo, and I like supporting local businesses. You know, it's not like this is a thing that's produced by Walmart or something, you know. This is just 2 people in a shop together, you know. All right, so this is the assembled thing, minus the back and the fans. I'm probably not going to put the back on just yet, but I will fit it in there. It is already pre-cut out. I should just slot it in. It's a little difficult because I did split some of the wood, so it's a little bit tight in some areas. But nothing a little persuasion can't manage. Okay. I have to tap that in with a hammer, I believe. Let me get my dead blow. This is a table saw bench that I'm working on, so it's extremely flat and even and level already. So if you do have to do a little persuading yourself, you can just use a known good surface. Just like this. Like so. Okay. All right. So as you can see, it's nice and flush because I did hit it onto a flush surface, right? So it does fit in there. If you do have a little bit of an issue with the cracking joints like I did on here, you can get yourself a little stick and a persuader, and you can kind of just knock it into place, and it fits pretty good. Okay, so that's that part. And I'm going to have to drill some holes on that. I should have done that before. So I'm gonna have to knock this back out, but I just wanted to make sure that it all fit. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the fan bits, and we'll go from there. All right, I'll just go to the one that I put the tape on and just take the tape off of it. We don't really need the tape anymore. I was just trying to avoid undoing something in case I needed it, but tape's cheap. Tape's, you know, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Okay, so I have the item clamped in my bench vise, and the instructions have the fan orientated with the label in the back facing into the box, so that's what I'm going to put there. Hopefully that's the right direction. It does not say in here which direction it's supposed to be, but I digress. So we're just gonna take our regular drill, go straight down through both holes, and we're drilling straight through on this one. That's one. It's two. It's three. That's four. Okay, and the fan does come with a shroud and bolts like this, and it comes with the two covers. There's just one cover. No, that's two covers. So what I'm going to do when I do the final install of the fan is I'm going to cut out a piece of carbon fiber pre-filter and sandwich it in between this and the outside, not the inside. So it would be on the back of this, between the intake and the box. So there's a pre-filter. It didn't come with a pre-filter. I just happen to have some, so I'm going to use them. Okay. Okay. All right. So we have our holes. Let's make sure that the holes that I drilled are large enough for the screws for the fan, because that would be unfortunate. And they are not. Okay, so easy fix. We'll just grab a bigger drill bit. And we already have pilot holes, so we don't need the fan in the way to put the correctly sized holes for these fans. And I believe it's this one. Should be. So we'll just pop one. Just like so. And does that fit? It does indeed. Okay, we're in business. So I'll just pop the rest of these holes out. Did blow out the back of this one a little bit. Should be okay though. We can, it'll be somewhat covered with the fan guard. Yeah, so as you can see, going from your unfinished side to your finished side, not the best way to do this. I did blow holes out. I just didn't feel like trying to make precise holes on the other side. But like with this here and the pre-filter that I'm going to put on it, you're not going to be able to see these small little blowouts. It's not going to be a big issue. So that's that. All said and done. All right. So, yeah. All right. So as you can see, I have box put together. This is going to be the front. This is the back side. This is going to mount here. I'm going to go ahead and sand everything down, and I'm going to stain it, and then I'm going to let that stain dry before I do final assembly. And so the next time that you see me, I will have a stained box, and we'll fit the fan and the cover and give it a test. See you then.